Okay, the purpose of this video is to help you understand the requirements for your Plate Tectonics free choice project. So this is just coming off of the Plate Tectonics test, and that test was over 5 standards, and it's not retakeable. It's an end of the unit big summative assessment. But the reason I feel comfortable doing that is because you now have another opportunity with all 5 of those standards with the Plate Tectonics free choice project. So you have access to the 3 docs I'm going to show you up here on Google Classroom so you can see them more clearly. But this is the scoring rubric that I'm going to be using to score your project. And so you notice that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 academic standards plus a quality of work score. So you're actually going to get 6 scores on this project, all that'll be in the third 9 weeks. And so notice that it says up here in bold, standard to show a deep understanding of with a question beside it. And so I'm looking when I'm scoring your project to see not just a basic understanding, but you truly are showing through your creation of your project a deep understanding of that content. Okay, so now let's look more specifically at the content. So you are going to be completing this these project prep questions. The first thing you have to do is come up with your idea. And so you remember that last time we did a rocks and minerals free choice project. And so you're going to type in here or write in here, last time I made a blank for my product. Now if you're like, I kind of forget, well you can go back in Google Classroom to find it. But also here's the list of the possibilities. And so you can probably look and say, oh yeah, I did a drawing, or I did a crime story, or I did a fictional interview, and think that through. Now, speaking of this list, you are going to choose what you want to make this time. Now, hear this clearly. You can change your mind, right? This is just what you're leaning towards. So if you start working it through and you're like, I'm not sure I'm really loving this, you're welcome to change even without my permission. But I just want you to start getting a good idea. Now, what is it that you have to show you know? So I'm scoring to see that you know what layer a tectonic plate is made of and what layer that they float on. That's standard 11 about Earth's layers. Standard 12, I'm scoring to see that you have a deep understanding of continental drift and 2 pieces of evidence to support it. Now, could you incorporate 3 pieces of evidence? Sure, but I'm scoring to see that you have 2. That's standard 12. Standard 13 for our year is about seafloor spreading. What happens during seafloor spreading to cause continental drift? I need to see that you have a deep understanding of that process. And that was standard 13. Now we get into the plate boundaries. Standard 14 for our year is just that you understand what the 3 boundaries are, the fancy names for them, and the motion that you would see there. Now here's the one that I think is probably the most challenging, and that is what happens as a result of the plate motion at the boundaries listed. So we have transform, divergent, continental convergent, and then continental oceanic convergent. You've recently seen a puppet show with all of those boundaries. It might help you to go back to that. But the result really means like what natural disaster, honestly, on our planet occurs because of that. And then this part here, the reason for the result, well, why is that happening? So if you get volcanic eruptions or seafloor spreading or earthquakes, why is that occurring? So those are the things you show you know. Here's your decision, right? How are you going to show it? Okay, now if you're like, I'm looking at this list and I'm not quite sure what a certain thing is, well, there's some options. You can get in touch with me and I can help you, talk you and work you through that. Or you can honestly go on to something else because there's a pretty big list. Also, if you have another idea, you're fine to run it by me and potentially go with that idea. Now, when the project's due, how are we actually going to submit our work? And so it is here. Whoops, not here. It is here. So right here, you're going to potentially, if you're doing, say, a story, you could type your product right here, your project there, or you can put a link there, or let's say you make a 3D model. You could take pictures of your 3D model or models and paste them here. That's a possibility. Now, it's possible that you're going to just, potentially bring it into school and you would just type what you're making. But anyway, this is how I know what to score. And then the reflection at the end, everyone must do that on this doc. You're going to compare this project to your first one. What did you like better and why? What do you understand better now than you did before doing the project? And I love this question. Why do you think it's important for people to have a basic understanding of plate tectonics in our society? It's like saying, why does plate tectonics matter? So feel free to email me, get in touch with me if you have any questions. This is your opportunity to have another chance to show what you know about these 5 academic standards.